Alright guys, good morning. Can everyone hear me and see my screen? Good. Yes, I am recording this webinar. Okay, I see there's a lot of you with divergence issues. This is simply just a recap. We've gone over divergence several times. If you guys need a recap, we can go over it one more time. We can spend a quick 10 minutes on it to go over it, and then we'll go over some trades that occurred this week, and we'll also go over some trades that are possibly coming up. Okay, can everyone hear my voice just fine, or should I increase the volume or decrease it? Okay, 1 second. How about that? Is that better? Okay, great. Okay, so where is everybody from? Where is everyone from? Let's see, we got like 57 people in the room right now. I'm sure a lot of people missed out because I got in a little bit late today. We are running an hour and a half late, extremely late. Alright, so we got, wow, London, Philippines, Pakistan, Portugal, Nepal. Great, all over the place. Okay, Czech Republic, nice. Singapore, okay. So, let's get started here. Now, one thing I want to always mention at the beginning of this webinar is everything that I explain in the webinars are obviously my own opinions, and it's not a strict thing that I'm saying that you have to follow it this way. It's just my opinion on how I approach the markets. The other thing I wanted to let you guys know is in terms of divergence, I like to use the word opposite. If you hear me saying the word opposite, I'm talking about divergence or hidden divergence, anyone. Okay? I simply use the word opposite because that's exactly what I see. Okay, so I try to stay away from all the jargon as much as possible, and I try to keep it simple as possible so it's easy for me to understand and it's easier for me to explain. Okay, so let's get started here. Alright, let's see, let's begin with, let's open up some of the examples that we've had. Now, we're going to have a divergence group that's going to be run by Sunshine. This lady right here, she was nice enough to actually step up and say, she'll take care of the divergence. She's going to give it a shot. If anyone else wants to help her out, please do so. Here we have the divergence group under the group section. Okay, is my screen frozen, or can everyone see my screen? Yeah, you guys can see it? Okay, great. Okay, so we have the divergence group here, and in this divergence group, you're basically gonna see all the discussions start popping up, with all the different types of divergence. The next update that I have for you guys, I'm putting together a dedicated team along with Sunshine to have divergence given to you as a free alert service from Urban Forex. This will be available for iPhone and Android devices, so whenever there is a potential update, you guys will have this available. 4-hour charts, daily charts, and weekly charts. This will help you guys compare your charts and understand, is there a potential turn coming up, because divergence is a pretty good piece of information. Okay, so let's go into some of the examples that we posted last week. Now, anyone here want me to go over divergence one more time, the opposites, to explain how it works and stuff like that before we get into what happened last time? Okay, so people need some reviews? Yes, for reviews? Okay, let's go over it for the next 10-15 minutes or so, and then we'll proceed from there. Okay, let's do a recap. Okay, so let's take a look on divergence. I usually plot my charts up once I plot my charts up, I can make it larger so it's easier for you guys to see. And I click Insert. I go to Indicators. I go to Oscillators and click on Stochastics. Okay, this is the one I like. I keep the settings standard, which is 5, 3, and 3. If you don't know about the settings, or if you think you've messed it up, just simply click the reset button and it'll come back to standard settings and click OK. Okay, and then this is what you see on the bottom. Okay. Now, what we're looking for is things that indicate that there is something that is opposite in the market. So, first things first, you always want to look at the immediate trend leading up to the situation. Now, we have a high here, and we have the next high here, right? Okay, before it reached this last circle that I drew, which trend was this? Is it an uptrend or downtrend? Okay, uptrend. Whenever you have the immediate last trend, if it's an uptrend, connect your highs, not your lows. Connect your highs. Okay? You compare that to your indicator. Make sure it also has turning points like this. And it does have turning points, but this is what we say opposite. Okay? Or this is what we're going to start saying in this room. We're going to call this opposites. You can see that there is a situation that tells you that, hey, the price and indicator are not saying the same thing. This is an opposite thing is happening. Whenever you have an opposite, price tends to reverse. Okay? Now, okay, this will work on MACD also. This will work on RSI. This will work on CCI. They're all practically the same thing, you know. But I just like stochastics, just prefer to use it. If you use MACD, try to see if you can get a MACD histogram. It looks a little bit easier for you to plot. Okay, so moving forward, let's take a look at some more examples. Okay, for the indicator, any questions about indicator? Standard settings. Standard settings. Okay, now let me show you a different example. Now, when you see here, I'm going to circle this one, this low here, and then I'm going to circle this one. Okay, before I reached the second circle, I was in a downtrend, right? The market had to move all the way down to reach it. This is why I'm connecting my lows. I connect my lows here to here. What about my indicator? Does it say the same thing? Yes. So in this particular tense, you do not have an opposite. You're only looking for opposite scenarios that tell you, something is fishy here, something is wrong. Okay, that's the time when you want to be focused on all this stuff. So let's move forward. And let's see if I can get you another example. Okay, here we go. We got a circle down here, a circle over here. Before I drew my second circle, markets were going downwards. Because it's a downtrend, I'm connecting my circles on the bottom, not on top. Okay, and I have this uptrend. Well, when I look down in the same areas, I see the indicators also turn, but I have a different scenario. Okay, my indicator is saying downward movement while the price is saying upward movement. We have something called an opposite. The closer you have it to the overbought or oversold, the better it is. Okay, remember that. Don't try to connect in the middle. If you have your indicator in the oversold or overbought area, it's good. And make sure it's not being chopped off in the middle, like nothing interrupts this trend line that you're drawing. Okay, just like there's nothing in between price messing with it, there should be nothing in between an indication. Yeah. So there, yeah, of course, you see a nice exhaustion candle there. It gives you a heads up that, okay, it looks like market's about to turn anywhere here. Okay? Now, this is what we call opposites. So does everyone understand why we're looking for opposites? Okay, yes. All right, I believe I missed a question. Can the oscillator have same highs or lows and the chart have different peaks? Sir, dude, I don't think I understood that question exactly. Can you rephrase it? And I'll see if I can find you an example, visual example to explain it. All right, moving forward, give me a chart, guys. Tell me a currency pair that you guys like. Let's take a look at that. Okay, pound. Let's take a look at pound, okay? Alright, now pound, 1 second. Let me log in again from another device because I seem to not see the chat messages. 1 second. Okay, just a moment, just signing in. Okay, there we go. I see the questions now. Okay, is it reliable on all time frames? Yes. Can you use this with the pro trading system? Yes, also. Does the point at which we draw the line on the stocks and the stochastics have to be exactly below the candle? 99% yes. Okay, as long as it's in that area. For example, take a look at this. We have this area as a low, and then we have this area. Now, even though this area might have gone slightly lower, the objective is to understand that the market took a curve here, and it took a curve here. It came down and turned around. You don't want to really look for the exact point that it turned, but understand the flow that it came down and turned, and came down and turned. And your indicator did the same thing. It came down and turned. And that's when you start to compare and contrast. Okay, so let's look at some examples on pound. Okay, let me scroll through to see if I can find you guys a opportunity that is understandable, and then we'll get into a little bit on what happened throughout last week and stuff like that. Okay, what if we look at something like this? Do we have an opposite here? We have the one circle there, the next circle there. Okay, the markets turned around from here, went up, turned around from there. You see that the markets are going long here. On this way to the second circle, the markets were going long. Alright, so this is the turnaround point. As it's going long, I'm going to connect my highs. My highs are in a downward trend over here. And if you look at the same area on your indicator, wherever it crosses, you see an opposite, okay, indicating price is gonna switch directions. Okay, so you have these time after time everywhere. Now, there is a slight aspect that, in fact, everybody misses to educate people on when they teach divergence. In fact, every person misses it because 99% the chances are they themselves don't even know what's going on. They're just teaching it because another textbook teaches it. Okay? I'm going to go over that example in a little bit. We're going to look through all of our examples last week. But before we begin looking at some examples that we've covered from last week, everyone with me so far? Everyone understand how we're connecting these highs and lows, looking for opposites? Okay, I've increased the volume a little bit more. Is that better? Okay, looks like that's all yeses for understanding the opposites. Okay, and volume seems to be better too. Okay, cool. All right, let's proceed. Okay, now let's take a look at what we've had here. Excuse me. Jimmy, I have Bose speakers. You are loud. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, let's take a look here. We had Euro USD daily charts. Let's see if there's any progress on that. What do we have? Can you guys hear me? Sorry, I lost audio for a moment. Yes. Okay, great. So yeah, let's take a look at this. What do we have here? Let me open this up. We have Euro USD for the daily charts, and take a look at the daily charts. We had this forming up around what is that? 27th, 28th, 2nd of July. Sorry, this is when I posted this. So let's take a look at what happened with Euro USD since 2nd of July. Did we get any progress from this? Okay, and if not, what happened? Okay, where are we? Okay, we were up here when that happened. Okay, we had an uptrend over here, and our prices had a alternative scenario. It looked like a downtrend. Okay, but the markets didn't reverse. It kept coming. Okay, now we have a miniature movement right now. This is a daily chart, Tom. Okay, we have a miniature move happening. The lows connected here, and if you take a look at your indicator, you have this scenario happening. Okay, they're showing you there's still struggle to turn around. Now here's the thing: when most people look at these opposites or divergence or hidden divergence, this is what they see, because when they're back testing, everything looks beautiful. Okay, it's like when we took that picture. Okay, it was a live picture. When we took that picture, the markets were like that. And everything looks rosy, right? It looks beautiful that this is the place where I want to go long. But the main thing that happens most of the time is this area is where everybody enters for a long. Okay? This spot is the ideal spot for most to enter long. And if you notice here, you will see a smaller time frame turning on an indicator. Let me show you. Okay, on a smaller time frame, this whole area, you will have oversold moments where all your trading systems, all your trading strategies, all your automated trading systems are looking to buy here. Okay, a lot of probability traders, with everything becoming confluence, this and that, everything mixing up together, ends up meeting around here. and they all started going long. Okay, once they all start going long, obviously they need to be taken out. Their stops are going to be below these areas, right? They need to be taken out before the markets can consider going long again. Okay, so all these people got taken out. The markets moved further lower. Okay, no indications of turnaround yet, and we're still waiting on standby. So this formation is no longer valid because the low is still ongoing. Okay, and it looks like there is no divergence right now. Okay, all we're looking at is this miniature movement. So keep that in mind for the upcoming week and a half. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the other pairs that we have. Okay, US dollar Swiss franc daily chart. Let's take a look. Swiss franc daily chart. Do you always wait for stops to be taken out? Nathan, yes. Yes. Because if everyone is entering here, I mean, it's only a very few times that the retail traders actually get a moment to actually enjoy a trade. Okay? Most of them get taken out. You know, this is a big boys game. Most retail traders get taken out. Okay? So, take a look at this one here. This is how the markets were standing on US dollar Swiss franc on the daily chart. Same thing that happened on Euro USD. This is the outlook. Okay, now things have changed. Look at how strong the market started going after this area. You see that buying pressure that suddenly started fueling the whole thing? Okay? Everybody that's trying to sell here gets immediately taken out really quickly, and those who don't have stops are freaking out. Okay? Crossing their fingers and saying, come on, come on, come on. Okay? Same thing here. The divergence is no longer in play. You want to wait. Once you have your divergence and you see the killing happening, look for a formation to happen to tell you that this is it. You can mix and match time frames. You can mix and match currency pairs that correlate to see, is this the moment? Okay? Let's take a look at the next pair. So for this one, on the miniature scale, nothing either. So nothing on US dollar Swiss franc. Let's label this. Okay. Alright, now US dollar Japanese yen. Let's see what they have. Somebody said Aussie dollar. Okay, we'll have to take a look at that. I don't have Aussie dollar in the list here, but we'll take a look at that. Okay, US dollar Japanese yen, we're asking if there was a potential sell coming up. What chart was that? This was on the daily charts. Okay, this was still in the making at that time. Okay, right here is where we drew that. Okay, asking that, is this a formation? We had all-time highs. On your indicator was flat. Okay, it's not really an opposite, but your indicator was flat. Your prices were still lower than your recent highs, and your indicator kept rising, telling you that a potential opposite is happening. So what happens in scenarios like this? Okay, the market tries to turn. This is the area where people start selling, when they start noticing, oh, this is the moment. Okay, once they start selling, boom, stops needs to be taken out. Okay? Okay, I don't know, I use the word killing a lot, that the stops needs to, but we can use the word stops being hunted. So the stops get hunted around here, where all the orders are placed. Okay? People get killed here. The market goes sidelined a little bit, and then it drops strongly. Okay? If it drops strongly, what kind of formation is this? For those of you who trade supply and demand. What is this right here? Okay? For those of you who are supply and demand areas, this is a supply zone. Okay? This is what we call a sell area. If the markets turn around, retrace. So you can see now that, okay, it looks like this is the moment the markets are getting ready to go. Okay? It gives you a heads up that, okay, it looks like we're going here. So let's write this down. Okay, the objective is to track everything. Remember, be prepared. Don't just sit on your charts and be like, what can I take? Be prepared. Sort everything out. Document it first, then wait for it to unfold, follow it, and then see what happens, and then document that. This is the best way for you to pick up and learn patience. It's very important. Alright, so we did US dollar, Japanese yen. Let's take a look. What's the next one here that we have in the list? Pound Aussie dollar daily chart. Let's take a look at pound Aussie dollar daily chart. Okay, what did we have there on the daily chart? Okay, we had a miniature move. You can see right here, we had the uptrend and downtrend on the indicator. Okay, let's see how that worked out. Okay, looks like this move is done. You had your opposites. Not the best area as it's not oversold, but this move was on its way up at that moment. Okay. It went up, tested its recent highs, and then it crashed. Okay. When it tested its recent highs and it crashed, it's also a miniature divergence, which we weren't able to catch, but it's there. Same thing, right? If you connect your highs here, because their last trend was a high going up, and you see that on your indicator, opposite. Markets change direction. Okay. Now, one thing I want to show you guys is that how do most people treat stuff like this? Let me show you. 1 second. Let's document this. Okay, how do most people treat, like, for example, support and resistance, these divergence moments? In a live market, things are way, way different than what you see when you backtest or forward test. Let me show you what you see in a live market. Okay, now take a look here. Does everyone see this as an opposite? Do they agree that this is an opposite? Okay, yes, 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 yes. Okay. Most people agree that this is an opposite. Most gurus and mentors will also say, oh yeah, look at this. This is a perfect divergence sell. I told you, like the typical nonsense. They do all this stuff. But the reality is when you're trading this live, when you're actually trading this live, this is what you actually see. Let's go back. Let's scroll back to that area where it hasn't started going up yet. The markets are going down. Okay? I'm going to draw my first circle here and draw a horizontal line. I'm going to do the same on my indicator, buddy. and I'm gonna draw my line. Okay, I'm gonna move the market forward now, one candle at a time. Has the price crossed this line yet? No. Let me move the candle one more. Okay? It looks like I got my screen got disconnected. 1 second, I'm reopening my webinar. Just a second, sorry. Okay, okay, can you guys hear me again? Flamingos, yeah. Sorry, my... Okay, I got disconnected there for a moment, and let's take a look here now. Okay, so back to what we were discussing. So, now, I've forwarded the market a little bit. Has the price disconnected, has the price crossed that line yet, the first circle? Okay, no, right? It hasn't crossed it. But has the price crossed the indicator? Has the indicator crossed that horizontal line? Okay? Yes, right? So this is the area that most people want to enter. Morning, Joginder. This is the area that most people want to enter. They see a red candle after that, they're like, this is it. I need to sell now. Every indicator out there is saying sell. It's oversold. Let's go down to a smaller time frame, 15 minutes. Let's take a look at that area. Where is that area? Where'd it go? This is 5th of December. Oh yeah, here we go. Everything is oversold here. Okay, most people want to sell there. That's the ideal area to sell. Okay? Now, if they haven't sold in this area, okay, this would probably be the first area that the selling begins, if not here. This is very rare that you will see that they actually get a chance to ride it with the bigger players. Okay? This happens all the time, that they will enter the moment they see something happening on the live market. But that's not the situation, right? When we backtest it, it looks quite easy. Okay, but in the real market, always be aware that the moment you see it, it does not mean that's the moment you enter. It means wait. This is where everyone is entering now. Okay? Then you wait for the markets to pull up again. And once it pulls up, and you start seeing formations, then you get in. Then you can place your stops. If you're a person that places 20 pip stops, place 20 pip stop. If you're a 30 pip stop person, place 30 pips. But the problem is most people enter too early, and then they get stopped out, and then they start thinking, maybe I need to widen my stops. That's one thought process. The other thought process is maybe I don't use stops. Okay, but they never think that maybe I'm entering at the wrong place. They just think their stops are wrong. Because they're so hard-coded that this is how divergence works and this is the right spot. So they start thinking my stops are wrong. And then once they remove the stops, their risk becomes so wide, it's just ridiculous. Okay? Alright, so let's move forward. Okay, did everyone understand that concept of not entering the moment you see it? You must wait. Okay, good. Let's proceed to what else did we have from what we had plotted on July 2nd. Let's see what's running. And okay, so Euro Swiss franc 4-hour chart. Let's take a look. Euro Swiss franc 4-hour charts. Okay. What did we have here? This is the first area people are selling here. And the markets continued further north. Let's take a look at what happened there. Okay, am I missing something here? What time? What day was that? This is 2nd of July. 2nd of July. Where's 2nd of July? Oh, right here. Right here. This is the area. Markets are... Wait. Why? I think I used this on a different PC. I'm having slight different numbers here. I do not see a divergence on this Oh, yes I do. Yes I do. It's right here. Sorry. I think this is the one right here. I don't know why I connected further. This is the connection that one needs to be made. Yeah, I think this is completely wrong. Disregard Euro Swiss franc. I've drawn it wrong. I'm sorry about that. It's my fault. I don't see Euro Swiss franc the same way as I'm seeing it now for some reason. My charts seem to be different. 2nd July, 4 hours, 4 hours, Euro Swiss franc, Euro Swiss franc. I don't know how this is possible. Sorry. Well, let's leave this one alone for now. I don't see where this is. Ah, okay, here. Again, sorry, it's right here. This is the area we drew. Take a look. Okay, does everyone see this as opposite? Yeah, it's the same. Sorry, I'm a little crazy today, but see, this is what we had drawn on the image. Okay, this is what we had drawn on the image, and this is what we have on the live market. So remember, this area, what does most people look at this and they're like, oh, look, it's a possible exhaustion candle. Sell, 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 sell. Because this is the next candle was red also. They're like, yes, this is golden. Does it sell there? Okay, no, it doesn't sell there. It waits to go up to eat these people out again. Those of you who have stops on above the recent highs or anything like that, or at break evens at this point, it goes one more time to do the killing. And then it does its turn. Okay? And then it does its turn. And that turn is where you want to start looking for opportunities to see, is there something, is there a way I trade? Maybe you guys are using supply and demand. Some of you guys might be using support and resistance. Whatever method you guys are using, this is the time you start searching for that, not earlier. Okay, so divergence is a pretty cool thing. So since we had posted that chart, the markets did go short after the killing. Let's document that. Okay, so do you guys agree it helps to document? Because you guys can see what happened, see exactly where people got killed or stopped out, and then you guys get to see when it worked out. Because then you can start putting your focus, is that, okay, what am I looking for in these areas? You have a sense of objective now. Okay? Alright. It's a very good tool to add to your system. It is not used to trade alone. Okay, looking at the next one, we had CAD Yen daily charts. Where's CAD Yen? Daily charts. Okay, what did we have on CAD Yen? Let's take a look. Okay, big move on CAD Yen. Markets going downwards on price and going flat on the indicator. So let's take a look at that. Okay, it's practically flat there and extremely short here. Okay, I believe that was over here, July 2nd, right? Yeah, right around here somewhere. Again, people see this as the area to short. Nice red candle. This is the way to go selling. Okay, that's the area. We had our picture right before that, actually, on the green candle before it. Okay, this is where we took the picture. We took that picture over there. Yeah, this is recorded, Maddie, if that's your question. Okay, can everyone hear me? Is the sound gone or something? Okay, good, good, good. Okay, so this is the area that everyone is selling, right? Market goes up once again to do the killing, and now is the area you want to start looking to see, is there something here that I can see that has a potential sell? So now it's the moment to see, are we going to sell now? Okay, so keep an eye on that. Hardiel, this would be for a sell. Okay. Let's take a look at the next way. KESEK, is it hidden or regular? What does it matter? Is it opposite from the indicator? Just focus on that. If it's opposite, then know what it's trying to do. That's all you need to know. Okay? Try to put your focus away from the words. It really doesn't... it's like in school. They teach you all these additional words sometimes, but it's like, does the kid actually understand what he's learning, or is he just memorizing stuff, you know? We'll take a look at New Zealand dollar as well. Okay, so let's take a look. This is the 1 hour chart on Aussie dollar Japanese yen on that day. July 2nd, 1 hour chart, Aussie dollar Japanese yen. Okay, 1 hour chart, Aussie dollar Japanese yen. What did we have? Okay, we were around here. Take a look. Right here is where we had this thing. Okay, do you guys see the opposite that we had drawn? Sir Dude, yes, it works with RSI as well. Now, when you take a look at this and you compare it to when we had drawn it, don't you think most people, when they see this curve happen, they're selling? They're like, oh, it's divergence, of course. You see this curve starting to happen? This curve is making everybody, every automatic trading system, every parabolic SAR, every support and resistance automated system sell at this point. Okay, once that's happening, where are the stops? Well, right here. Let the killing begin. Once the stops are hunted, then you, for those of you who like exhaustions, this would give you a heads up saying, aha. And that's when the market actually goes down. Why does this thing happen? Most people think, I lose so many times in the Forex market, it must be I must have bad luck. The second type of people is, once they get stopped out and then it goes their way, they're like, oh, of course. I knew it was going to go short. I just did something wrong. I entered at the wrong place. So then they start widening their stops, entering sooner than later. So there's this whole different type of mentality that comes in. Now the people who get stopped out and saying I have bad luck, their answer to this is do the opposite what I'm doing, and you will make profit. Okay? Is doing the opposite a good thing? Okay, if you're thinking that this area is a sell, doing the opposite is not a good thing. In fact, the larger players want to sell from here because then they're like, they want you to come back and say, of course, it is a sell. I knew that. I just entered wrong, or I got scared, or my stops were too close. Okay, if your stops are too close, if you're thinking like that and you keep getting stopped out, you'll never make it out alive with your risk to reward ratio. You'll always be stuck at your same account balance. You'll never make 50, 60, 100,000 in a single month. You'll always be stuck up and down around your account balance, maybe up 50%, down 50%, but in that range. If you want to break out of that range, you must do very high risk to reward trades at all times. Okay, which means controlling the area where your stop is if you're doing singular trades. If you're doing batches, of course, stops are difficult to use. Okay, so always remember that concept. If you want to get out of this rat race, think like a player. Alright, so Aussie dollar, Japanese yen. Let's document this. Okay, what bar do you enter the trade, Naveen? Tim, it would be right here. Right around here when you see the people getting stopped out, and then you see this big wick on top telling you there's pressure coming down to sell. Support and resistance traders are also looking at this area now. They're like, Okay, those of you who are range traders can also look at this as a range, like, oh, it's at the top of the range. I should sell from the top of the range. Everything that you've studied, apply it a little bit after, not before. This area is correct, but too soon. This is the ideal area. Okay, the first circle is correct, but too soon. The second circle is the ideal area. Make sense? Okay, let's go through the rest quickly. And then, like I said, make sure all of you guys thank Sunshine for volunteering to assist all of us. She's, I think, in the room as well, for helping us with the divergence to keep it running and going. I'm going to be posting myself sometimes, and you guys, all of you guys, are welcome to post as well. So let's take a look at some other pairs. Worked like a charm. Okay, yeah, so there are, many things like this. I'm teaching for a lot of our interns, and I need them to take over certain sectors. For example, Sunshine's taking over divergence. I need some other interns to take over some other sectors, such as supply and demand or support and resistance. So if you guys have applied, I will definitely come to you guys, approach you guys, because all the help is needed. And I really want to make this the best community for Forex. Okay, 1 hour chart, Euro CAD. Let's see, where's Euro CAD? 1 hour charts, July 2nd. Okay, there we go. I think that's the, yeah, right here. Boom, boom. Okay. So when people see this happening, okay, if you want to draw a horizontal line from your first circle, draw it. It'll help you understand. Okay, and see, okay, did the indicator ever cross that horizontal line? Okay, no. If I draw my horizontal line here, did the price cross it? Okay, the moment that the price crosses it, bells and whistles go up on traders. They're like, divergence, nice, nice, So around here, when they see this exhaustion and divergence, they're interested in selling where my arrow is. Okay, some people have tight stops, some people have loose stop. It goes up more. It pushes higher first. And then it goes down. So do you guys understand why most gurus come out and say divergence works? Well, of course it bloody works if you're going to just look at the back charts and just keep drawing circles and lines. What is the reality? Explain that. Most people cannot explain it because they never experienced it. You need to experience it. Okay? If you're telling some other student or some other trader, you don't want to look like a fool. You want to be able to tell them what they're going to actually experience when it's live. Okay, so always do your research and your homework on stuff like this and document. Always document. Okay, so this one worked like a charm. Let's document this. Okay, let's take a look at the next ones. Okay, Pound New Zealand daily chart on July 2nd. Alright, Pound New Zealand daily charts. Oops, daily charts, there we go. What did we have on Pound New Zealand? Most likely I was looking at this. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I was looking at that. Oh, it's the other way. Okay, I was looking at the lows. Okay, let's take a look at the lows. This is the area right here. Let me delete these. Okay, the first area that people are interested in going long. Okay? Did the indicator cross the line? Okay, yes. Draw a line like this to see where it crossed, because that's the area that people are interested. Right around here, the buying is being interested right now. Okay, they're buying, boom, they get crushed. Okay? Once they get crushed, it goes further down. Okay? Now that it's gone further down, it's starting to look like this. When you see an exhaustion, you're like, maybe this is it. Well, by this point, this is how your indicator also looks. So, this one would be considered a no-go or a loss. Because remember, when you're trading this live, you might not experience this peacefully and calmly as we are now. You'll do that only if you do it a couple of times and you get to experience it. Okay, so we'll call this a no-go or a loss. Okay. For experience, this would be a no-go, and for those who are new on this, it would be a loss. Okay, let's go check out the next one. How long do we wait after divergence to enter the trade? Mike, you want to wait for the markets to take out your recent highs or lows. Okay, New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen, daily chart. Okay, daily chart, New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. Let's see what we've got. Okay, here we go. Markets were going long here. Where do I connect this from? I guess somewhere up here, going down to here. This is where I took the picture. Okay, do you guys see opposites? This curve is what gets people interested. It goes up, halts, curves, selling begins. Now this thing has gone north, higher now. Take a look at the indicator. It's still dropping while prices are rising. Those of you who are supply and demand traders, this is your zone. Right? Isn't this your area to sell? Okay, so stay on top of these things. Okay, as far as I recall, this should be a supply zone, right? Marcus came down strongly, halted a little bit, went away strongly. Isn't this a base drop, I guess? Okay, and there, if you go to a smaller time frame, you'll see much more information in here. But Alex, yes, it is recorded. Not to worry. I'm just going over some recaps. This webinar is going to be every week on Divergence. We're going to have weekly webinars for certain topics, including pro trading strategy. Okay, so this would be your sell zone, and this tells you that okay, this might be it to sell because of my supply and demand, because these people got killed from the divergence. Plus, it's going a little bit higher. It's a daily chart. It's beautiful. Okay, let's take a look at some other stuff. Let's document this. Okay, and finally, Okay, we got like 90 people in the room here. Yeah, much more people. I guess they got the email. Did we have anything pending? Aussie dollar 1 hour chart on July 2nd. Let's see what happened to that. Where's Aussie dollar? Aussie dollar here. 1 hour charts on July 2nd. Okay. What did we see here? What was wrong? Okay, can you guys spot what was wrong here? Stefan from Netherlands. I took a few hours off for this. Oh, good, good. And I really appreciate you guys coming to this webinar. That's why I really like to give you guys the best whenever you guys come to these webinars, right? Because most of you guys are taking off your precious times to attend these things, so it better be worth it, right? So let's take a look here. What did we have on Aussie dollar on 1 hour charts that day? This is 2nd of July. Naveen, this rule will work on gold and crude or only on Forex pair? This rule works on anything. On anything. Remember, the markets are created by larger players, right? It's to control capital, to gain capital. It's like the stock markets. Why do you list your company on the stock market? To raise capital. DZ Bista, no, I haven't published the book yet. Sorry, I've been so busy. I need to really find a ghostwriter to help me out. Okay, so this is what we're looking at on Aussie dollar. There we go. Boom. This was a minor move only, nothing too strong. Markets move down here. This move up makes people say, alright, here we go. We want to go long. It comes down, takes them out, and then grinds its way up. Okay? But still weak. It does go up, but weak. Okay, too much grinding action. Okay, but notice that this is not the area where you buy. You must buy after. Make sense? Let's document this. Okay, take care, Nathan. Alright, and finally, some of you guys had questions about you guys wanted to take a look at some pairs. What pairs are you going to look at? Jose, yeah, time frames you're asking. I personally would do 4 hours daily and weekly. Anything below that, it becomes too stressful. Keep it on a higher time frame as much as possible. It's nicer, it's smoother, it gives you time to mix it with your other style of trading. Okay, so we got gold and euro yen first. Let's take a look at that real quick. Gold, where are you, Mr. Gold? Okay, gold. I just saw it. Okay, here we go. Gold. Gold, US dollar. Okay, what time frame? Let's take a look. Let's take a look if there's anything right now. 4 hours, start from 4 hours. Okay, 4 hours, something minor. If this thing turns from here, looks like we have something. Okay, but our indicator has not turned yet, so we don't know. Daily charts. What do we got on daily? Nothing on daily. Weekly. It's too sideways on weekly for the indicator, so nothing there as well. Okay, euro yen. Euro yen, where are you, euro yen? There we go. Euro yen, let's start with the 4 hours and let's work our way. What do we have on euro yen? The lows? Do we have an opposite for the lows? Yes, no? Any opposites there? Okay, no opposites there. What about for the highs? Okay, recent highs. We missed out on this one, but there was an opposite there. Markets changed direction. Okay. Okay, so nothing upcoming right now. Let's take a look at the daily chart for Euro Yen. Upward, 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 upward. Nothing on the daily chart. Weekly chart. Weekly chart looks like there's going to be some fun. Yep. There should be some fun coming up in here. Look for a potential buy in this area. Okay. I don't know if you're trading supply and demand, support and resistance, whatever it is. Look for whatever opportunities you look for in this area, you'll find it. Okay, that's your weekly outlook for Euro Yen. This is going to take time. It can take up to 4 weeks. Let's see, what else we got? What is the other pair that you guys wanted? New Zealand dollar 4 hour, okay, and then CAD yen. Okay, these are the last two pairs I'm gonna do, and then we'll call it a day. We're 10 minutes over by a bit. Okay, let me mute this. Okay, New Zealand dollar 4 hours and CAD yen. Okay, let's take a look at New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Where did New Zealand dollar go? I think I am blind. I can't. Oh, there we go. New Zealand dollar 4 hour charts. Okay, current market scenario. Okay, what do we have coming up? We have a potential drop coming in, and we're seeing that, this is the uptrend right now. If I draw my horizontal line, markets don't look like they're going to come near this line anytime soon. But if you draw your horizontal line on your indicator, looks like it might get there. So watch out for that area. Okay, but other than that, nothing formed. Okay, the next webinar is exactly 1 week from now. Daily charts, and nothing too smooth there yet. Weekly charts for New Zealand dollar, nothing really there. And I think the last one was CAD yen. Yes, it was CAD yen. Okay, start with 4 hours. Okay, CAD yen, the lows, perfect. The highs, perfect. No, nothing has changed. No opposites. The dailies. Okay, what do we have on the daily? Looks like there's a party coming up on the daily. Let's take a look. CAD yen, this is the same one we looked at. On the daily chart, this is what we've had. Remember? So, an eye out on CAD yen on the daily charts. Okay, Navina, I'm traveling. We'll be back on Toronto 23rd of July. In fact, Joginder, I will probably be in Toronto September or probably November. Between September and November of this year. So maybe we can catch up, get some drinks, and go over some trades if you'd like. But anyways, guys, thank you all for coming in today. And for those of you who do not have the app yet, go ahead and download our apps. They are free now. There's 2 apps available. It's on the iTunes store. One of them is our forecasting, which is Forex analysis free. And then the other one is, there's a more screen inside. If you click on the more screen, it'll give you all of our other apps that we have. Okay, and there should be more apps coming out for you guys. So we're doing some, we made some strength indicators and stuff like that for you guys. So that's going to come out. We have a correlation app for you guys. So we'll get that all out for you guys. And they're all free. They're all free. Okay, and yes, don't forget to let Sunshine know we all love her for helping us out, and for those of you who do want to help me out too for managing other daily updates, please do get in touch with me. We do need your assistance. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys exactly 1 week from now on the same webinar. Take care. Bye now.